wish to review or discuss the minutes from the meeting of June 9th?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes.
Oh, I was gonna make a comment.
Oh.
Needs more periods, but I'll second your motion.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
So moved.
For ratification, the issuance of the following license, June 6, 2013, a special one-day license for all alcoholic beverages. Walter Betancourt of the Holy Ghost Society, Holy Ghost Park, 65 Village Street, for the PAC fundraiser, Saturday, June 15th, 5 p.m. to 2 a.m.
Can I just, is Mr. Betancourt, could you come to the microphone for a second? I just wanted to let you know that you do a lot of licenses here, the Holy Ghost, and it's great, but you just gotta make sure they're in on time. Ryan bent over backwards to make sure that you had this license, so just in the future, make sure they're on
Okay.
time, okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Move to approve.
Oh, we still got a couple more, or do you wanna do them all?
Yeah, I can do them all. And then for ratification, the issuance of the following license, June 12, 2013, automatic amusement device license for Valley Pool Table, 7-foot Cougar, Mass approval number 705 to MA Restaurant LLC, Black Koi Restaurant and Lounge, all alcoholic beverage restaurant licensee for premises at 602-608 Merrimack Street. Commissioners, this licensee has been in business for 4 years. This is the first license they've applied for a game, a coin-operated device. And since the licensee has been a record of good standing, as a matter of helping the business, issued that license June 12, 2013. Also for ratification, the cancellation of the following licenses, June 5, 2013. Penny Hammergas of the Worthen Cafe initially applied for licenses for an outdoor block party for Friday, June 7th, and Saturday, June 8th, which included for beer and wine, and also for amplification of sound. But because the weather forecast did not hope or promise that it would be good for outdoor activity, she asked that those licenses be canceled. And they were canceled and without cost to her for a license fee. So, if the commission wishes to ratify.
Move we approve.
Second, all those in favor say aye. Aye, so
Aye.
moved.
Commission now take up applications for a special one-day for wines only, 2 applicants. Theodore Lavish of the A.O. Lofts, 172 Middle Street, A.O. Loft Art Gallery opening Saturday, July 13, 2013, 12 noon to 6 p.m. Barbara Gagel is here on his behalf. Also application by Alan Niddle of the Zeitgeist Gallery, 167 Market Street, art opening, Zeitgeist Gallery, at Saturday, July 13th, 5:30 p.m. to 8 p.m.
If you could come to the microphone.
I'm Barbara Gagel, First Head Lavage.
Okay. And is Alan Niddle? Introduce yourself for the record.
Yeah, Alan Neidl, from the Zeitgeist Gallery.
Okay. Is this the first time you've had the wine license?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, okay. Have you talked to a distributor about getting the wine?
No, we haven't.
Okay. Well, you can't buy it at the store. You have to comply with Massachusetts general laws, and you have to obtain the alcohol through a distributor. So I just want you to be aware of that,
Okay.
that this isn't go over to King's Package Store and put it in the trunk and bring it in. You got to do it correctly in accordance with the law.
Okay.
How many guests are you expecting at your openings?
At Air Lofts, probably 35, 40 people, the opening.
Okay. And sir?
We're hoping for, the same, maybe 30.
Is there going to be any food served?
Yes, there'll be a tray of food.
Okay, great. Any questions?
Nope.
All right, just remember the license is in your name, so if you guys have any issues, it's not in the art gallery's names, it's in your name, so you have control of what goes on there, so if you feel comfortable at any time, you can stop serving. I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
So moved. Thank you.
Do we receive a paper or? what
I
is-
will, we can follow up on this tomorrow. I can call him, or he can call me.
Thank you.
Okay. Special one-day license application for malt beverages and wine only, or either one. Kamani Lapintain. Is Kamani here? He's not here. Melissa Haley. There's Miss Melissa Haley of GNAA LLC Fuse Bistro for outdoor area on Palmer Street, the corner of Middle, for the Lowell Folk Festival weekend. This licensee is a restaurant, all alcoholic beverage. It has existing sidewalk seating presently, and this would be an extension of their outdoor area when Palmer Street and Middle Street are closed to motor vehicle traffic. And so Ms. Haley is here on behalf of Fuse Bistro for Friday evening, or Friday afternoon and evening, July 26th, 6 p.m. to 12 midnight, Saturday, July 27th, from 12 noon to 12 midnight, and Sunday, July 28th, from 12 noon to 6 p.m., all of which is in keeping with what Lowell Police Department will allow for these outdoor activities.
Introduce yourself for the record.
Melissa Haley.
Okay. Melissa, have you done this before?
Yes, last year was our first Folk Fest.
Okay. And you're aware that where your sidewalk seating is, it's all alcoholic, but then when you get outside the sidewalk seating and onto the street, it's just beer and wine?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. All right.
No questions.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
So moved. Good
Thank
luck.
you. Thanks.
Commission now take up application for all alcoholic beverages. John Vitorino, Portuguese American Civic League, for an enclosed parking lot adjacent to 512 Central Street. Members picnic of the Portuguese American Civic League for Saturday, August 10th, 12 noon to 6 p.m. Also Walter Betancourt of the Holy Ghost Society, Holy Ghost Park, 65 Village Street. There are events this weekend, the St. John Feast, Saturday, June 22nd, 3 p.m. to 11 p.m., and also Sunday, June 23rd, from 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. There will be a wedding reception on Saturday, June 29th, at 5 p.m. to 1:30 a.m. A second wedding reception on Saturday, July 6th, 4:30 p.m. to 1:30 a.m. The Naomi fundraiser for Saturday, July 13th, from 4:30 p.m. to 1:30 a.m. The Kamara Fashion Show for Friday, July 19th, from 5 p.m. to 1:30 a.m. Portuguese Bike Run fundraiser, Saturday, July 20th, 12:30 p.m. to 1:30 a.m. The Brazilian Night, Saturday, July 27th, from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m., and the Holy Ghost fundraiser for Saturday, August 3rd, from 5 p.m. to 1:30 a.m. A total of 9 applications for one-day license for all alcoholic beverages.
Introduce yourself for the record.
Yes, my name is John Vitorino. I'm the manager of the Portuguese American Civic League.
Right.
Walter Betancourt, Holy Ghost Society.
Okay, both of you guys have been here before. We haven't had any issues. Just make sure we keep it that way. Okay.
Thank you.
Is this one license or is this 9 licenses?
There are 9 separate licenses, each license for one day.
I move approval.
Second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, so moved. Good luck.
Thank you.
Yep.
Commission will now take up applications for amplification of sound. John Vitorino, Portuguese American Civic League, for disc jockey with sound system, the parking lot of the club at 512 Central Street. There are 2 events, a members gathering for Saturday, June 29th, from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Also a members picnic for Saturday, August 10th, from 12 noon to 6 p.m. Jeff Fernandez for the Puerto Rican Cultural Festival, for sound system for live bands, disc jockey, PA system, the 33rd Annual Lowell Puerto Rican Cultural Festival for Sunday, August 4th, with respect for a rain date for Sunday, August 11th. The hours would be 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. The event itself will be at the Lowell Heritage State Park, Sampras Pavilion, and Esplanade at Pawtucket Boulevard. Is Kamani here? No. Okay. And Walter Betancourt of the Holy Ghost Society, Holy Ghost Park. There will be sound system for band, disc jockey for outdoors. And that would be for the St. John Feast this weekend, Saturday, June 22nd, from 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. Also for Sunday, June 23rd, from 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. And there's a third amplification permit at the Holy Ghost Park for Portuguese Bike Run fundraiser, Saturday, July 20th, from 12:30 PM to 9 PM. Then we have Melissa Haley of Fuse Bistro for sound system for band and disc jockey during the event of the Lowell Folk Festival for Friday, July 26th, July 27th, and July 28th. The enclosed outdoor area in front of 45 Palmer Street at corner of Middle Street. Robin Dupel of the ATP Restaurant, doing business as Cobblestones, 91 Dutton Street, sound system for band or disc jockey for the Lowell Folk Festival for Friday, July 26th, July 27th, and July 28th, enclosed outdoor area in front of 91 Dutton Street. And last is Manny Cavallero of the Cavallero's Restaurant, 573 Lawrence Street, sound system for band, summer party at Cavallero's Outdoor Cafe for Saturday, June 22nd, from 8 PM to 12 midnight, Saturday, July 20th, from 8 PM to 12 midnight, Saturday, July 27th, from 8 PM to 12 midnight, Saturday, August 10th, and Saturday, August 17th, both 8 PM to 12 midnight.
Okay, if everybody could introduce yourself for the record.
John Vitorino, Portuguese American Civic League.
Jeff Hernandez for Hijos de Borinquen, Lowell Puerto Rican Cultural Festival.
Walter Betancourt, Holy Ghost Society.
My name is Keo Manny, from Lowell, Sanyalam, of New Orleans.
Melissa Haley, Fuse Bistro.
Robin Dupel, Cobblestones.
Manny Cavallero, Cavallero's Restaurant.
Okay. I think everyone has been here before. Is that true? All right. So just with the sound license, again, it's a common sense license. You want to keep it to a reasonable limit. With respect to Melissa and Robin, I know you guys know this already, but the folk festival music takes priority. So if Mr. Samaras, the Lowell Police, or anyone else associated with the folk festival comes by and asks you to turn it down because it's interfering with the music for the folk festival, just do that. Other than that, I hope you guys have good weather and make a lot of money. Any questions? I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
So moved. Thank you. Should we call Kimoni?
What are we gonna tell you, Kamani?
Yeah, just to get it over with. It's a one day.
Kamani, would you please come to the microphone, please? Commission will now take up the matter to do with the applications filed by Kamani Lamkanthang for the Temple Wat Lao Mixierum of New England, 45 Bernier Street. This is for beer and wine only, or either one, for a fundraiser for the temple at 45 Bernier Street, Saturday, July 6th, from 12 noon to 6 PM. And also, the fundraiser will continue on Sunday, July 7th, from 12 noon to 6 PM. Mr. Chairman, I just wanted to point out one thing, and I did speak with Mr. Kemanani recently about this. It was a year ago about this time that I received a telephone call from a person who did not identify himself, but the nature of his the tone of his comments was so surprising to me because he was complaining about the event itself. The temple has its annual fundraiser 2 days. And I explained to this gentleman that no one has ever complained, and I knew of no complaints from the Lowell Police on the matter. And I suggested that he contact the Lowell Police if there is a problem. So I just made Kamani know that, and I just wanted to make the commission aware of it. It was just this one time, one caller who was, took me by surprise, and he seemed very irate.
Right. I remember that from last year. How long have you been doing this?
17 years.
How many years?
Since we started 1996.
96.
Yes, sir.
And we haven't had any issues other than the one phone call?
That one call.
One call. All right, so you're fully aware of how this license works. It's in your name. You have control, have Lowell Police on the speed dial, and if there are any issues, call them. Okay,
Yes, sir.
great. All right, second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, so moved. Good luck.
Thank you.
Commission will now take up matters to do with sidewalk stand permit applications. Liliana Kulipe for the downtown dancewares, 120 Merrimack Street. Kenzie McIntyre, who is the manager, is here. Is Kenzie here? Yes. Also, Adam Gundersheim of the Empire Loan of Lowell, 43 Merrimack Street. And Christopher Melville of Tabletop Arena, 103 Market Street. Each is anticipating the folk festival, but also there is a couple of requests for a seasonal license for sidewalk permits.
Okay, if you could introduce yourself for the record?
Kenzie McIntyre, Downtown Dancewear.
Adam Gundersheim, Empire Loan of Lowell.
Okay. And Christopher Melville is not here?
Not here. Oh.
Not here, okay. In regards to these sidewalk stand permit applications, you just be aware, you can only sell what you sell in your store. You can't, especially on the folk festival, you can't bring in stuff that you don't normally sell inside. You just sell what you usually sell. And that's it, right?
Yeah.
All right, and just make sure you keep the sidewalks clear. There's gotta be 4 feet for passerby, so, if you have any questions. All right, I'll make a motion to approve.
The first two.
The first two that are here, yeah.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
So moved. And if Mr. Melville wants to come in at the next meeting, he can come in then.
It's interesting, he was here last time we had a meeting, waiting. I didn't even know he was here. But,
Oh, really?
but he wasn't on the agenda, that's the
That's
problem.
right.
That was the problem. Commission will now take up an application for Old Gold, Silver, and Platinum license for 2013, 2014. Cena Ken and Anthony Ken, doing business as STK Cash for Gold, 209 Chelmsford Street.
Introduce yourself for the record.
Hi, my name is Sina Ken.
Okay.
And my name Anthony Kent.
Okay. Have you been involved with the Old Gold, Silver, Platinum license
sir.
application?
No,
No? Okay. Have you, you've never been in this business before?
no.
Okay. Are you aware of the rules and regulations of this business?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And how are you aware of those?
No buyer from the minor, and also take photo IDs and make them fill out application and submit copy all the merchandise and photo ID with the application and submit to the officer next day before 10th,
Okay.
who holding my case.
Okay. Have you talked with the Lowell police?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you have. And Captain Webb, are you aware of them?
I'm not aware of that, but I'll mention it to Detective Kelly.
Okay. All right, just make sure that you stay in constant contact with the Lowell Police Department.
Yes, sir.
You know, they're there to help you, not to hurt your business.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if you have any
No
questions.
questions.
And are you, 209 Chelmsford Street, do you own that, rent it?
I rent it, sir.
You're gonna rent it?
Yes.
Okay. And where are you gonna get a majority of your product?
From the, would you say it again, sir?
Well, you're gonna sell some you're gonna sell gold, silver, platinum, et cetera?
I buy and sell to the dealer. I know that my brother, he had the same business that on the 5 minutes.
I noticed you have like a gold necklace on. Are you gonna sell those at your store, or are you just
No,
buying?
no, sir, I'm not selling.
You're not selling anything?
No.
Okay. I have no issues. Okay. I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
So moved. Good luck.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
See you tomorrow. Want me to, I'll bring out the applications and stuff.
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This is a long meeting, huh?
Commission will now open a public hearing on the application for the transfer of the all alcoholic beverages packaged goods store license from the licensee presently BKDE Liquors, Inc., doing business as Lowell Liquors. Robert Cassiotis is the president. To a limited liability company, SAPT LLC, Bharat Patel, member, for premises at 638 Roger Street, Units 4 and 5, which is a total area of retail space of 2,400 square feet. It is requested that SAPT Sanchin Patel be approved as manager of record for the LLC.
Introduce yourself for the record.
Good evening. My name is Attorney Hyman Stramer, and I represent SAPT LLC in the transfer of license from BKDE Liquors, Inc.
Excuse me. My name is Sachin Patel. I'll be the managing.
You're the manager. All right, Sujin, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. I just moved from Florida, and I'm trying to acquire a liquor store here. So.
Okay. Have you ever been involved in the sale of alcohol?
Yes.
Where?
In Lutz, Florida. I used to own a convenience store.
You owned a convenience store?
Yes, sir, and have a beer and wine. No liquor there.
No liquor. Okay. But the package store you're buying is all alcoholic. You're aware of that,
Yes,
correct?
sir.
Okay. And are you aware of the rules and regulations of the City of Lowell License Commission into terms of selling alcohol?
Yes, sir.
And Massachusetts general laws?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right.
I'm sorry, where in Florida?
It's, I'm sorry, 22911 State Road 54 in Lutz, Florida. I used to own a Sunoco there. It was a gas station there in Lutz, Florida.
Does anyone else have an interest in this license?
Yes, it's listed on the application. There are several individuals who have an interest in the license.
And who are those individuals?
In addition to Sachin Patel, there is a Tarak Patel, who owns a 5% interest, and a Bharat Patel, a 22.5% interest, and Swatal Patel, 5% interest, as listed on the application.
Isn't there another person? I thought there were 2.5% for two people, 5%.
Chalua?
Jawla Patel.
Oh, here.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah,
Jawla.
Okay.
Chalwa Patel, 22.5%.
This matter didn't require notice to the abutters, but it did have a public notice in the paper. It can be, comment from the public is welcome.
We'll open it up for a public hearing. Is there anyone that wishes to speak in favor of this application? In favor? In favor? Seeing none, that portion of the hearing is closed. Is there anyone that wants to speak in opposition? In opposition? In opposition? Seeing none, that portion of the hearing is closed. I know that store is in my neighborhood, and it has a great reputation, and the guys that owned it before you do a wonderful job, and they haven't had any issues whatsoever. And it's a main thoroughfare in the city. There's a lot of people that come down that road. So if you do a good job, you'll do a good business, but don't get the reputation of selling to minors, because that'll be a recipe for disaster.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
And I don't have any other comments.
No, I like the one about don't serve the minors,
Right.
sell to minors.
All right. And just make sure you work with your neighbors. There's some other businesses in there, and make sure that you work with your neighbors, okay? I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
So moved. Okay, good luck. It's just gotta go to ABCC, the ABCC in Boston to be
Thank you.
approved. Okay?
Thank you very much. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Things that
No, I know. It was right on the top. That's why I asked him. You gotta earn his money a little bit.
Drove all the way up here from Milford. All right.
Commission will now open a public hearing on the application by The Last Safe Inc., Stephen H. Perez Clerk, for all alcoholic beverage restaurant license for premises at 160 Merrimack Street, Unit A, an unnumbered door south side, basement, one room, approximately 1,750 square feet, with bar, stage, storage area. It is requested that Stephen H. Perez be approved as manager of record for The Last Safe Inc. The applicant, Last Safe, has filed license applications for common victular, for entertainment in a licensed restaurant, for live bands, 1 to 5 performers, and for DJ. This is a public hearing in which abutters were properly notified or were duly notified by the applicant's attorney. Those property owners touching, and also directly across the way from the building itself, the premises, and 2 churches, and the school, Lowell High School, St. Anne's Episcopal Church, and St. Joseph the Worker Shrine were sent notice of the public hearing.
Introduce yourselves for the record.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Commissioner. My name is John Hardigan. I'm an attorney. I have my office here at 97 Central Street in Lowell, Unit 204. With me this evening is Stephen Perez, the proposed manager of the new entity.
Okay. All right, Attorney Hardigan, could you explain to me what this project is?
I'd be glad to, Mr. Chairman. This was, The Last Safe Inc., my client, was a brand-new entity which was created on April 24th of 2013. And the sole purpose was to bring a live entertainment venue to the city with the hope to support the local performers and artists. Now, Mr. Perez will speak in a minute, and I've asked him just to prepare some brief comments concerning, 1, his experience in the industry, 2, his connection to the city, and thirdly, most importantly, to the specifics of the operation. But just as a brief overview for the genesis, in essence, the entity took a look around and saw the competition in the city, and what they're trying to establish is a niche industry. I don't know how to say this delicately, but for more of a mature audience. And every decision that's been made to that end has been geared towards that. I mean, if you start with the location, I don't know if the commission's familiar with it, but it's a below-ground location. It's a small location. It's approximately 1,700 square feet. It's intimate. It has a maximum capacity of 99 people. Once they acquire title, they're expecting to do renovations, and the hope is that they'll bring in the local artists and perhaps sculptures to assist in the decoration. The hours of operation, they're not geared towards the after-work crowd, but in fact, they're geared towards the after-dinner crowd. What they're planning at this point, the proposed hours, it's going to be a soft opening. They're looking for 7 till closing 5 days a week. Now, if business dictates and/or special events, they probably expand that. As to their employees, they're anticipating they'll expand to as many as 10. All of them will be tip certified, educated as to the rules and the regulations of both the board and the Commonwealth. At this point, as to the specifics, I'd like to turn the microphone over to Mr. Perez.
Sure. So what we're looking at, I'm Steve Perez. We're looking at a venue to support art, music, comedy, independent film, poetry. That space, the Safe, existed in that capacity in the 90s and was a place where many musicians and artists who have expanded their careers outside of Lowell started. It's where I started. It's where I met my wife. I feel like there's a void of that type of venue in downtown Lowell, and that's my goal.
Okay. Well, conspicuous by their absence are your partners, who are the principals of the Village Smokehouse. Now, is this place going to be like the Village Smokehouse, or is it going to be more like, say, the Back Page in its feel?
Well, it'll be more like the Back Page. You wouldn't recognize it as anything that was affiliated with the Village Smokehouse. It's really apples and oranges as for a business plan. Also, I have nothing to do with running the Village Smokehouse, and I have everything to do with running this location.
Okay. And relative to the crowd, you said the after-dinner crowd, age range, I mean, is it?
It's 21 to 55, you know. It's not a kids club. it's artists. And one thing about artists, and you will find this at the back page, is the wide variety in ages, because we're sort of unified by a sort of philosophy, a way of thinking. I don't know exactly how to word it, but it's artists.
Okay.
When the word mature was used, I assumed you were talking about people over 55.
No, if you-
People that like Frank Sinatra and stuff like that.
Yeah, I like Frank Sinatra.
Okay.
If you could, Mr. Perez, explain a little bit about your experience with the industry.
I was the general manager of Bill's Bar in Boston behind Fenway Park. I started there as a booking agent, expanded to general manager, was in charge of hiring, ordering liquor, promoting all the concerts, booking all the acts, and then we moved over to Axis in Avalon, which is now Bill's Bar. And to this day, they still consult with me if they need an opening act, or if I'm talking about they being Live Nation. If they have a question about, should we bring this band, should we put them at the Paradise, or should we put them at the House of Blues, they still call me to this day.
Great.
And have you done any work in the city?
Yeah, for 20 years I've promoted shows at just about every well-known bar in downtown Lowell. And I've run the Uptown Lowell Music and Arts Fest, which runs Folk Fest weekend, and I've done that, this is year 19. Outdoors, 700 people come to see local music and art, incident-free for 19 years.
And I saw you were recognized as the coolest person in Lowell.
Yes, I don't know what to say about that one. You're only cool if someone else says so.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, and relative to this, how about the service of alcohol? I know you worked as a booking agent at the bars, but how about the service of alcohol?
Well, my experience was as a chef, but I know how to run a bar, and I'll be managing and keeping a close eye on all of that. You know, we're not even, I'll just leave it at that. We're planning on running a very professionally run place.
Sure. And now the groups, the people that owned the place before, had a bar in there before, they had an issue with sound.
Yes.
And there's now residents that lives upstairs. Now, is this going to be acoustic, or is there going to be amplification, and how loud is it going to be?
There will be amplification. I actually I have always had an affinity for this location, so I actually went down to check it out before they closed, and it was absurdly loud. You know, I have a VU meter. There are acceptable levels, and this far, far exceeded it. And when we were just putting this thing together, I actually spoke to Mr. Boggs, who lives upstairs, and he explained to me exactly what his concerns were. And I've met with him twice, and he's on my side on this. So, you know, we're going to do good by him. We're going to be good neighbors.
Okay. Do you have any questions?
Yeah. The separation from the smokehouse as two different entities means you won't be exchanging food and alcohol between the two entities?
Not at all.
Well, why don't we open it up for a public hearing? Is there anyone that wishes to speak in favor of this application? In favor? In favor? Seeing none, that portion of the hearing is closed. I'd just like to, before we get to the opposition, that we did receive an email from Kathy Marson, the president of the Lowell Downtown Neighborhood Association, writing in favor of your application. Is there anyone that wishes to speak in opposition? In opposition? In opposition? Seeing none, that portion of the hearing is closed. Does the Lowell Police have any comment?
Mr. Chairman, I spoke to the superintendent about this application, and she asked me to express her concerns that the gentlemen that are involved with the management and ownership of the Village Smokehouse are involved in this application, particularly where the Village Smokehouse still has a complaint for disciplinary action outstanding before the commission against them of quite a serious nature. And based on that, the superintendent would like you to take that into consideration.
Sure. You know, sometimes you're judged by the company you keep.
Yes, sir.
And I think you've put on a great presentation, and Attorney Harding has put on a great presentation. And my opinion is that these are two distinctly different organizations. But I plan to vote in favor of the application. But if we grant this application, just know that you'd be on a very short leash. And it's probably not because of you, it's because of the other individuals that you're associated with, okay?
The,
Yeah, oh, yes.
Mr. Chairman, the City of Lowell would like to suggest that the commission consider tabling this application until the very serious charges against the Village Smokehouse have been heard. It's concerning, the owners of the Village Smokehouse are the majority owners of this new establishment, and it's, with the charges being of the Controlled Substances Act, we think it would be important to make sure that that is heard and handled before this application is decided upon. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, just so the applicant's position is clear, obviously, the committee would have discretion to table it. It would be over our objection. I don't think I need to point out that these are two separate entities. I mean, I don't know how much clearer it can be. Mr. Perez is responsible for the day-to-day operation. To my knowledge, there has never been any assertions. I'd like to remind the commission at this point, to my knowledge, there is nothing pending before the Village Smokehouse. There is, at this point, simply allegations.
So the question for me, and maybe it's a legal question, is if something's brought forward against the Village Smokehouse and we find that they've been egregious, these are still two separate entities. If we take action against the Village Smokehouse, that doesn't mean we have to take action against the safe deposit, I'm sorry. The safe.
The last safe.
The last safing.
Last safe, yeah. Is my understanding correct?
Yes, and there's other establishments in the city where they have, or other owners or entities that have two establishments and principals that own two, and we've taken action against one entity and not the other. But I appreciate the city's position on this. But I will tell you that I received a couple of phone calls stating that Mr. Perez was a fantastic individual and, gave you votes of confidence in this entity. And where we don't have a meeting for July, and that could be where we hear the Village Smokehouse at the earliest, and then we're into August, I don't feel this is a main thoroughfare in the city, Merrimack Street, and I think having an establishment there would be better than leaving it vacant. And from your representation, and you're the manager, and you've been warned that because of the company you keep, you're going to be on a short leash, I'd still be in favor of moving forward on the application.
I think I agree with you. If you haven't been playing enough with Mr. Perez, I fully support what you say about the short leash. But I move that we accept, or that we approve.
Second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So moved.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Very much, thank you.
Catherine just gave me copies of compliance that we were talking about last meeting.
Yep.
This pertains to Amal and Lucky B with respect to the guidelines, regulations, or whatever they do with respect to the individuals that do this, and I think they may consent.
Signature on the photographs. Yeah. Okay. Yep. They here today?
Okay, Commission will now commence with the hearings with respect to the interim superintendent, Deborah Friedel, with respect to a hearing that was continued from June 6th and is taking up to this evening on the allegation of misconduct as charged by the Superintendent Friedel against Amal Fuel Inc., doing business as Drum Hill Golf, Richard L. Corey, manager, the malt beverage and wine only package store licensee for premises at 1299 Westford Street, for failure in compliance check conducted by the Lowell Police Special Investigations, which is a violation of Chapter 138, Section 34, Mass General Law.
Introduce yourself for the record.
Richard Davenport.
Okay. Mr. Davenport.
I'm the general manager.
Okay.
Mr. L.
Is
Corey's
Richard
traveling.
L. Corey here? Because he's the manager.
He is traveling, so he wasn't able to make it.
Okay. Would you like the complaint read into the record?
Sure.
Okay. Captain Webb?
Want me to read it?
Oh, yeah, excuse me, if Ryan could read it.
I have it. The notice of hearing initially was dated May 28, 2013, for a hearing that was to be held June 6th. Mr. L. Corey was not present. Commission continued this hearing for June 20th. And it pertains to Mass General Law, Section 34, Chapter 138, to do with sale, delivery, furnishing alcohol beverages to persons under 21 years of age, employment of persons under 18 years of age. The Lowell Police Department conducted a compliance check, and that compliance check was held Saturday, April 27th, in which detectives assigned to the Special Investigations under the command of Lieutenant Goldner were conducting compliance checks of licensed establishments. Detectives were assisted by a 20-year-old male who helped in this matter. Under guidelines from the Lowell Police Department with respect to these compliance checks, the young man had no identification on his person. He had no money. And the money that he was given was limited to the amount that he might need to buy a small amount of alcohol beverage. And at 4:35 p.m., the underage operative entered the Drum Hill Golf at 1299 Westford Street. He was able to purchase a 12-pack of Heineken light beer from the clerk at the time. And at that time, the clerk failed to ask for identification. The 20-year-old reported to Lieutenant Goldner and Detective Desailly, who then entered the store, who the officers identified themselves to the clerk at the time, a man by the name of George, and he was advised of the violation. There is a police report identifying the nature of the compliance check, and the gist of what I've just stated is in the police report.
Captain Webb, do you have anything to add?
Just that Detective Desilets is here if you'd like to hear from him.
First, where were you guys at the last meeting?
We are having a problem receiving our mail as our site is located on the Chelmsford line. So a lot of mail that comes in we don't receive. So we actually received this letter the Saturday after the hearing, the initial hearing.
When you received the letter, did you immediately contact Mr. Wynn?
The operations manager, I believe, contacted the city.
Okay, what do you have to say about the complaint?
First and foremost, the employee that this occurred on, he has been terminated. We have a zero tolerance policy for this. All of our employees are instructed to scan every single ID that comes into the store. We are going to continue to scan IDs, and we're also going to retrain by tip certification to make sure that we don't have this incident again.
Okay. All right. Have you had any compliance checks before which you've violated?
Yes.
And when was this?
I'm not 100% sure on when that occurred. Maybe 6 months, a year ago. That manager is he's also been terminated since that occurrence.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I believe that was a compliance check conducted by the ABCC.
Oh, okay. All right. Your location is on a busy, intersection, and there's a lot of people in and out of there. and, you know, you're close to Chelmsford High School, you're close to, you know, parts of the university, et cetera. You know, the gas stations especially have to be vigilant with checking IDs, because I know it gets busy. I work right there. I know it gets busy in there, especially around that time. And, you know, you guys got to be hypersensitive as to who's coming in and who's coming out, because I know it gets busy and there's a lot of people. But you got to make sure your employees are doing their job, and by scanning IDs and et cetera. And, you know, I think you taking a strong stance with your employee by terminating him, you know, is a good step. And retraining is a good step. So you're looking to take corrective measures. So I don't know if you have any comments.
Have you considered getting a post office box?
We have considered it. The assistant manager of the store has contacted the post office. They've assured us that it's not going to happen again, and we'll continue to follow up with them to make sure that we are getting our mail on time.
The Lowell Post Office is the best in the United States, but still, you might consider a post office box. Now, based on what you said, I can assume that if I come in there and buy a beer instead of a Coca-Cola, that you will ask for my ID?
Absolutely, I'd like to invite you in to do so.
Okay.
Well, this is your first complaint with the city of Lowell. So I'll make a motion to put the complaint on file.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
So these are training exercises. If it's happening during a compliance check, then it's happening when they're not doing a compliance check. It's not like once in a while, you know, just this one time. It just happened to be the guy from the Lowell Police Department. So make sure you clean it up, all right? Or else there'll be serious consequences.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yep.
Commission will now take up the matter by hearing, continued from June 6th, at the request of the legal counsel for the licensee. On the allegation of misconduct as charged by Deborah Friedel, the interim superintendent of police, against Lucky Bee, Inc., Peter Bojizoglu, senior manager, a malt beverage and wine only package store licensee, premises at 185 Woburn Street, for failure in compliance check conducted by the Lowell Police Special Investigations, a violation of Chapter 138, Section 34. Mr. Chairman, this is the fifth instance where the Lowell Police Department, having conducted the compliance check, in which this licensee failed to ask the question of person's ID.
Mr. Chairman, George Theodoro, 133 Market Street, representing Lucky Bee, Inc.
Would you like the complaint read into the record?
Oh, we'll waive the reading of the complaint.
Sure. Captain Webb, could you just summarize?
Mr. Chairman, on April 27th of this year, detectives assigned to the Special Investigation Section were conducting compliance checks of various alcoholic beverage establishments in the city under the command of Lieutenant Goldner. The detectives were assisted by a 20-year-old male in this activity. The 20-year-old had no identification and only that money which had been provided to him by the detectives. At 5:52 p.m., the 20-year-old entered Lucky Bee at 185 Woburn Street, purchased a 12-pack of Heineken light beer from a male clerk and was not asked for any identification. Lieutenant Goldner and Detective Desolitz then entered the establishment and identified the clerk as Kling Korn and informed him of the violation. Detective Desolitz is here this evening if you'd like to hear from him.
Attorney Theodoro.
Mr. Chairman, my client fully understands the seriousness of these violations and the cumulative effect of what has happened. And they understand that their license is in jeopardy here.
We have gone over this long and hard to take measures to correct this. Number one, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday are the busiest times of the week. They're going to hire another clerk from 5:30 to 10 o'clock. In my review of these compliance checks, it seems to me that that's the busiest time, and that's a time where they're susceptible to a lapse in judgment by the clerks. Each one of these clerks now are going to be retrained and tip certified. They have recently purchased an ID scanner, and I believe that's something that was recommended by this board some time ago. Well, they've taken an action and purchased the ID scanner, which is there on the counter right now. Each one of these IDs are going to be scanned when they come into the premises to purchase alcohol. At the same time, they've put into effect software that is part of their register. It's a register that has a screen, and as soon as they scan the liquor, it prompts them to put in the ID. With these checks in place, and knowing that they're going to have a short leash from here on out, this is not going to happen again.
Can it get any shorter, the leash?
I don't think it can. One thing I'd also like to say with the Vogaziolo family is that they've been in business there since 1990. The site itself is a wonderful site, and I can't argue with the fact that it is a busy site, and attention has to be taken. A no-tolerance policy has to be taken, and I'd ask that this board consider that. They've had a substantial investment there. There is a Dunkin' Donuts on one side that they do not own. It's not part of their management there. That they can control this in the future with these checks, and I'd ask you to take that into consideration.
Now, when Attorney Theodoro, I don't think you represented the license holder when they got their license.
No, I did not.
But I was sitting on this board at that time, and we made it abundantly clear to them that they were at a busy location. They had, there's the Subway, there's the convenience store, there's the Dunkin' Donuts, and that it's right on the highway. You got the people from Raytheon coming, you get the people in South Lowell, that, this was a recipe for disaster, and it's turning out to be, I've used that twice today, recipe for disaster, but it's turning out to be not good. These compliance checks, if it's happening then, it's happening other times. And sometimes the remedies are a little bit too late. We suspended the license for, was it 37 days last time?
It was 30 days. The prior violation, I believe the records have said, it is 37. 7 days was held in abeyance, 37 days.
So you had a 30-day suspension already?
The prior violation, the record shows, was a 30-day violation.
Mr. Chairman, just to clarify, there was an initial 7 days that were held on abeyance for, I think it would have been the third offense.
Right.
And then on the fourth instance, that 7 days held in abeyance was put in effect plus 30 days. And then at that time, the commission advised the licensee that if there would be a next violation, a fifth violation, a motion to consider revocation of license would be considered, I should say.
You know, 5 violations. I grant you they've taken action, but I think that we need to take some action too to help them understand that they need to be implementing their new procedures in a serious way. Like you say, we have the case where it was found to be an error. How many times did the system fail in the past? So I think that there needs to be some suspension.
Yeah.
The city just wanted to note for the record that back in July of 2011, this commission ordered the Lucky Bee to then give them proof of installation of an ID checking machine. It's 2 years later, and now at the 5th violation, they're finally saying they're going to do it. It seems to me to be too little, too late.
If I would just say, I understand that, I saw that in the record and asked them to do it. They did do it. They did it.
Have you seen it demonstrated? That is, have you shown them your ID card and they scanned
No,
it?
they just purchased this yesterday. However, when I was there and inspected the premises, I saw the scanning device that they have, and it's a device in which when they scan the alcohol, the screen prompts up and they have to put in the date of birth. Now, mind you, they can only verify the date of birth if they ask for the ID. The ID scanning machine is better than that because that prompts them to take the ID and scan it. And then I understand that a green light goes on if they're over 21 and it's valid, and a red light goes on if it's not. But no, they purchased that. This is dated the 19th, this invoice.
So you've slow rolled this for 2 years?
No, I have not. I have not.
Your client?
My client. But given these measures that they're putting into place right now, I'd ask that you consider that and give them an opportunity to work and to do the right thing and implement this no tolerance policy.
You know, I just want to point out that the Lowell Police, they have sting guidelines, and they're gone over with the individual participating in the sting. They sign it, that they understand what's going on, and the Lowell police officer signs it, that he's explained these regulations to the operative, for the lack of a better word. You know, and right in here it says, at no time shall the underage person attempt to misrepresent their age or provide any identification. And secondly, if asked for identification, the underage person should leave the establishment. So all you got to do is ask, how old are you? Even if they had an ID that said they were how old are you? You just get in the habit of asking. But, you know,
I think we should take into consideration the action that's been taken and give them some suspension of the license and some additional time that we're holding in abeyance.
all right, I'll make a motion that we suspend the license for 6 months and 3 months held in abeyance, 3 months to be served. And I'm telling you right now, if I'm still sitting here and you come back, it's gone. The license, well, I'll make the motion to, I don't know who said it in the last record. I don't have that good of memory. I don't know who the other commissioners were, but I will make a note to myself, if they come in here again, or this is assuming it's approved, if they're seconded, if they come in here again, it's just gone. So that's my motion.
I second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, so moved.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Would you like the suspension to take effect?
They have an appeal period, right? So
Upon receipt of written notice, 5 days to file an appeal with the Alcohol Beverages Control Commission upon receipt of that written notice.
why don't we start July 1st?
July 1st.
July, August, and September, right? Thank you.
Thank you.
And Attorney Theodoro. Before that- I just want to, before we close the hearing, I just want to, just to clarify, I'd like that abeyance to be held for 2 years. Second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Commission will now open a hearing on the allegation of misconduct as charged by Deborah Friedel, the interim superintendent of police, against the licensee Chuck's Variety, Inc., doing business as Chuck's Variety, Pala, Mayes, the manager, malt beverage and wine only package store licensee, for failure in compliance check conducted by the Lowell Police Special Investigations, a violation of Chapter 138, Section 34.
Introduce yourself for the record.
Hi, my name is Paula. I'm the manager at Chuck Variety.
Okay. Would you like the complaint read into the record, or can Captain Webb summarize it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Captain Webb, if you could summarize the complaint.
Mr. Chairman, this was a compliance check from May 2nd, 2013, that was conducted by detectives assigned to the Special Investigations Section. The detectives were assisted by a 20-year-old male who had no identification and only that money which had been provided to him by the detectives. At 6:26 p.m., the 20-year-old entered Chuck's Variety at 641 School Street, purchased a 12-pack of Heineken Light beer from a male clerk. Lieutenant Goldner and Detective Desolitz entered the store and identified the clerk as Jimmy Sofani. He was informed of the violation. Detective Desolitz is here if you'd like to hear from him.
What do you have to say?
All I could say is I'm very sorry for what had happened. So it's my godson that when I step out, I left him behind the counter, which is sell it to the minor. So I'm sorry for that. And since it happened, I get a new book, the new license books, all we put on the counter, and I didn't put him behind the counter again. And I will make sure that the books all next to the counter if I step out. And I'm sorry for that and ask for second chance.
How long have you had your license?
It's 4 years.
4 years. And have you been in front of us before?
No.
What are your mechanical steps for making sure that the person has an ID and that he's or she is over age?
I only have the book, the new book for 2013 from my distributor that always placed next to the counter, and which is me, is going to be most of the time at the cash register.
But do you ask the age?
Yes.
Always?
Well, sometime, but I always ask for license.
It's got to be one answer, always.
Always.
It's just, you got to be just like Fenway Park or the Boston Garden. You just ID everybody.
Okay.
It's the easiest thing to do. Every single person. Even if Councilor Nguyen comes in, you ID him, even though you know who he is, you make sure you ID him, okay?
Okay.
All right? These are training exercises, okay? So they're meant to get you back on your toes, all right?
Okay.
So I'll make a motion that we put it on file.
Thank you.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye, thank
So
you.
moved. Okay?
Thank you.
Don't let it happen. You saw what just happened to the people in front of you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Won't it happen again?
Okay.
Thank you.
We never want to see you again.
Thank you.
Commission now open the hearing on the allegation of misconduct discharged by Deborah Friedel, the interim superintendent of police, against the licensee known as Shinshi Inc., doing business as Pacific Liquors at 421 Central Street, Sompal M., the manager of record, the all-alcoholic package store licensee, for failure in compliance check conducted by the Lowell Police Special Investigations, a violation of Chapter 138, Section 34.
Introduce yourself for the record.
Okay, my name is Sared. I'm the president of the Pacific Liquor, 421 Central Street.
Would you like the complaint read into the record?
Yes.
Or Captain Webb summarize it?
Pardon me, sir?
Would you like the complaint read into the record or Captain Webb to summarize it for us?
Yes, we do.
Captain?
Yeah.
Okay.
On May 7,
No, just let Captain Webb go.
Okay, go ahead.
Gotta make you earn your big bucks.
Mr. Chairman, this is also a compliance check conducted by Special Investigation Section Detectives on May 2nd from 2013. Again, the detectives were assisted by a 20-year-old male who had no money with him, other than that provided to him by the detectives, and no identification. At 6:56 p.m., the 20-year-old entered Pacific Liquors at 421 Central Street and purchased a 12-pack of Heineken light beer from the male clerk. Lieutenant Goldner and Detective Desolitz entered the store and informed the clerk, Sarah M., of the violation. Detective Desolitz is here if you'd like to hear from him.
Now, sir, go right ahead.
By May 7th, about evening, noon time, and we run only wife and husband. We don't hire no employee at all. We be careful for 12 years, never happened. This is the first time in my store, and because the kid, the police sent it in, it look like the person that used to be check ID too many times already, and that's why we make mistake. I'm so sorry. We won't make mistake and happen again. We promise.
You've had the license for 12 years in the city?
Yes, 12 years.
And you've never had any issues here?
No, at all.
Well, as I said to the license holder before, these are training exercises to get you back on your toes and make sure that you're asking everyone
Yes,
that comes in for their identification,
Right.
whether you know
Yes,
them
sir.
or not.
Yes.
I'll make a motion to put it on file.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. So moved. Thank you.
Okay, I'm all set.
Awesome.
Okay, thank you.
Is Bunson here? Okay. The next hearing is also allegation of misconduct discharged by Deborah Friedel, the interim superintendent of police, against the licensee known as LNS Liquors, Inc., at 2 Dover Street. Bun Song Chun is the manager of record, the all-alcoholic package store licensee for failure in compliance check conducted by the Lowell Police Special Investigations, a violation of Chapter 138, Section 34. Mr. Chairman, notice was to the licensee was dated June 6th for hearing today, June 20th. Not only is the notice sent by first-class postal service, but also by return receipt, certified mail return receipt. I do have the green card on the mailing. It was received on June 11th. I don't recognize the individual who signed that. I don't know of the person. So they have received notice.
I guess as we did with, was it Amal? Was it Amal?
Gas station, yeah.
The gas station. Guess we'll continue it to our next meeting, but if they're not here, then I'll make a motion to suspend the license.
Continue to July 18th.
July 18th, yeah.
Sounds good.
Surprised, very.
Well, maybe something happened, if they're, yeah.
He's got 2 stores, so.
Right, so he knows, right. was regular mail and certified mails, right? Both regular and certified?
Yes.
Yeah. Right, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
standard procedure to,
Right.
in such matters as this, to make sure that the, some record is shown that it's been received. Commission will now take up the matter to do with hearing on the allegation of misconduct as charged by Deborah Friedel, the interim superintendent of police, against the corporation known as Rosenblum Corporation, doing business as Ornelas Liquors, 1012 Gorham Street. Sanjita Patel is the manager of record. An all-alcoholic beverage package store licensee for failure in compliance check conducted by the Lowell Police Special Investigations, a violation of Chapter 138, Section 34.
Introduce yourself for the record.
Sangeeta Patel.
Anil Patel.
You want the complaint read into the record, or Captain Webb to summarize it?
Captain.
Captain Webb, okay.
Mr. Chairman, this was a compliance check conducted by Special Investigations Section detectives on Friday, May 3rd, 2013. The detectives were assisted by a 20-year-old male who had no identification with him and only money that had been provided to him by the detectives. At 7:08 p.m., the 20-year-old entered Ornelas Liquors at 1012 Gorham Street and purchased a 12-pack of Heineken Light beer from a female clerk. Lieutenant Golner and Detective William Callahan then entered the store and informed the clerk, Samantha Dong, of the violation. Detective Callahan is here if you'd like to hear from him.
Now, you heard Pacific Liquors was in here just now. 12 years in business. This is the first time that you got. How long have you been in business?
It's only 4.5 months, I think.
4.5 months. Yeah.
I think we really realized the mistake that happened. I think what happened is that particular day, a week ago, not even a week, I have hired, because of the busy time, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, kind of like a busy hours, I end up hiring a candidate, and I have handful of troubles on my second floor, and I went outside basically for 2 times. First time I went outside for a little bit hard to handle it, then come back and then went outside again. Second time when I went outside, I think police officer was there. I do not know that, but I asked them saying, hi, everything all right? And then I went inside and then I realized that the new employee, even though guideline was given and everything, but he may end up making a mistake and we have to let her go. So that's what we did. But I think in correction measures, what we're trying to do right now is the rate booklets that we have, we put it out in the front. Second thing we did is we put I usually stay on the busy hours all the time, and I make sure every ID I check them, and that's what I've been doing. But then I put on the table, we put another saying, please your ID ready. And the third thing today I learned from the previous lawyer was referring about the electronic system that I can implement, and I will immediately place the order for that one to do it. For me, it's a learning curve, but I'm very serious about this thing, and I heard the previous losing a license, and I understand the importance of it.
Well, you see, the license holder at that Exxon station, you know, they got the subway, they got all the other stuff. This is all you guys have.
This is what I have, I agree, and big investment I have done, and I realize the importance of it and seriousness of it, so I will take the maximum measures that I need to take care and ensure the training of the employee that I will do.
That's the most important thing, is that if you hire a new employee, you have to make sure you train them.
Within 1 week, I end up basically getting in trouble for that, but I think I will ensure properly in this case.
Commissioner Krieger?
No questions.
I'll make a motion to put the complaint on file.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So moved. Okay, just don't
Thank
let
you
it happen
so-
again.
Thank you so much, and I appreciate giving me a time. Yep.
Thank you.
With respect to, we have several applications on file in which Commission may wish to take action as far as scheduling public hearings. The first is an application filed by the Middle Street Village, Inc., doing business as the Village Smokehouse, Alan Kaplan, President, the all-alcoholic beverage restaurant licensee for premises at 9298 Middle Street. Request for change of office, director, and transfer of stock. This would require publication of a legal notice. Presuming that the Commission would hold such a hearing July 18th. Legal notice would be published in the local newspaper for the Friday edition, July 5th. It doesn't require applicant to notify abutters. There's three individuals. It doesn't require notifying to abutters. There are three individuals, one of whom is selling his interest for a gentlemanly amount of $1. So,
So it's just a transfer of stock.
It's a transfer of stock.
Put it on for the next meeting.
Okay. There is an application filed by Global Montello Group Corp., doing business as Alltown Lowell, Edward J. Fanuel, Executive Vice President, for a malt beverage and wine only package store license for premises at 980 Chelmsford Street. This would be an application for a new license for an existing self-serve station, mobile, I believe it is, and it has a convenience store. They're looking to be able to offer beer and wine. It's right outside the Cross Point
Okay.
Oh, right
The
there.
mobile station just before you get to Chelmsford.
Right, and so this nature of this application would require that the applicant notify abutters, property owners touching and across the street. Also, a third application was filed this past week for transfer of a all alcoholic package store license.
Go back to, so the butter is Cross Point itself. So does he go to Cross Point Management, or does he have to
Well,
check with everybody in Cross Point?
Well, certainly, it's to be determined, but one could assumably, the interesting thing about that particular location, Cross Point, is you've got the land, you've got the structure, the high-rise. The assessor's office would be able to best determine who actually legally owns the property, what entity might have control over it. It probably would be some type of a multinational corporation that might have control of the interesting thing, and with the nature of the fact that the License Commission had recently approved new regulations, expands the notification to abutters, which would be across the street. Now, across the street, there's possibly some residential property owners there.
There's a license holder right across the street, too.
There's an existing beer and wine license, Alpine Liquors, or not Alpine Liquors, but it's Alpine Butcher, is it? So there is.
Don't you have a childcare operation going in Cross Point?
Cross Point is like a city unto itself, I think. They have, that covers a lot of.
Going back to a previous application, they did St. Anne's Church, but in the hall behind St. Anne's Church, but in front of the Lowell High School, there is a woman, Living Waters or something, conducting her own operation, but yet we didn't, is she considered part of St. Anne's, or is she a separate entity?
Well,
I don't want to go back and reopen that issue.
No,
but I'm
just from the.
She's working with homeless people as opposed to regular parishioners.
Well, the matter of determining a church, school, or hospital, we look to the city engineer's office to make a point-to-point, as the crow flies, the nearest corner to the nearest corner of the structure of the building. And so what is asked of the engineer's office is to determine if there's any church, school, hospital, synagogue within a radius of 500 feet. Only that. The assessor's office will conduct a determination as to property owners touching the proposed site for the premises, in addition to property owners across the street in any public way, or other way, if you will. Maybe the radius wouldn't be as extensive as the 500-foot radius. So, for example, looking at the list of abutters for 160 Merrimack Street, interestingly is the assessor's office went to Middle Street, which is behind the building. And there is residential units which probably will be at the corner of Palmer and Middle Street. And so there is that building there, and that covers a fair wide area. It also included Enterprise Bank, which was opposite, across the other side of the street. Originally, before the new regulations took effect, Enterprise Bank would not have been notified by the applicant because it wasn't required. It was only property owners touching. It probably would have not necessarily affected the property owners on Middle Street, because there is the question of, there would be another issue like similar to the one that arose in regards to Brian's Ivy Hall years ago, not too long ago, but when that application was before the License Commission, the question of that, what we can think of as an alley, but it's actually a way that the property owner had rights halfway down that alley, and the property owner on the other side also had rights. So in the new regulations, it would have been a given that the property on Middle Street, which is the Marsden building? Marsden building?
The Muller's Lofts, or is that?
Muller's Lofts. That building, those are property owners there, which are condos, would have been notified, which they were not at the time. But so, this situation with the convenience store, you're looking at certainly across the street. And it could theoretically, you could look at the Cross Point, could be multiple owners, and they would all have to be notified. So that's.
Thank you for that explanation. But no, it was good.
Yeah.
It clarifies it for me.
It does,
Yeah.
I hope. All right. Anyways, and then we have the application by Boomy Liquors, who's seeking to obtain a license from the gentleman that was just here, Pacific Liquors, Sausage Inc. Mr. Somfel Imp is looking to sell his business at 421 Central Street.
So we're going to put these all on for the
July 18th?
July 18th.
July 18th, okay. We do have a communication from this Deborah Fidel, the interim superintendent of police, dated June 18th. Allegations of misconduct against the licensee known as Hayhurst Group, Inc., doing business as Finn's Pub, 7686 Merrimack Street. Kevin Hayhurst, manager, the all-alcoholic beverage restaurant licensee. I have copies of that complaint to do with, it also pertains to new regulations that were alleged licensee being in violation of, as far as not reporting instances of altercations on the premises or just off the premises.
I guess just my feeling on this, sort of how we did with that Village Smokehouse, where it looks like it's a pending criminal matter.
I have something to say on that,
Oh,
if I
sure,
may.
yeah.
On the Village Smokehouse.
No, I was just on, relative to the Hayhurst Group, it's, from what I understand, it's a pending criminal matter. So I don't know if maybe we should wait till the resolution of the criminal matter before we deal with it, or I just, you know, if the criminal complaint is dismissed against them, then
Well,
what does that mean about the police?
Let me just offer you
sure.
the,
No, I understand. To take administrative action against someone who's been acquitted in a court of law strikes me as,
And I know we're different, I just.
not quite a star chamber operation, but not good. The law office may disagree with
Yeah.
that.
actually, Mr. Chairman, I think if I read this correctly, and I'm sure the solicitor, Kerry Regan, will say otherwise, it may be, but it doesn't really necessarily mean that there was a, we're dealing with a criminal aspect to this, the matter which you're alluding to, because all they're looking at is it appears quite obvious that there was some type of altercation,
Oh, sure, yeah.
one way or the other.
Yeah.
And it had to do with something to do with the licensee.
Yeah.
Presumably, but the question is, did the licensee fail to notify the License Commission in compliance with Regulation Section 1.16 and also Regulation 1.20 with respect to any instances of a disturbance?
I agree with you on that. But where it's alleged that the manager, assaulted someone and battered someone, I think if that's proven to be true, regardless of them not notifying us, I think if that was true, and then we heard the testimony and we thought it to be true also, that I think the punishment would be much more severe if we find out that the manager is, committing an assault and battery.
Yes.
So why don't we not put it on for the 18th, but we'll schedule it for the law department wants to chime in, so.
Please, Mr. Chairman, the Law Department would strongly urge this commission to hear these allegations as soon as possible. They are serious, and it is within the province of the License Commission to consider them and consider the evidence offered by LPD, regardless of the criminal complaint. As far as I know, the next hearing isn't until August. When there are serious charges pending, we really don't want this business to be open for longer without the commission getting a chance to review and see, the violations that the LPD is stating have been committed.
So, I'm reading through this. Where does it say, that the manager was the one that punched up the guy?
Right here.
Okay. So does the law department have an opinion as to whether or not we should consider the issue of Mr. Hayhurst having beaten up on some miscreant, or are we just interested in the fact that he failed to call the police in a timely manner?
The Law Department would suggest that the commission appropriately can take up all of those issues. This isn't a criminal proceeding. Nothing has to be proven to, beyond a reasonable doubt. The commission should hear from LPD and from Mr. Hayhurst and explain what happened in the incident and come to the appropriate conclusion.
Well, let me, go right ahead.
I was going to say, I have to inform you, I'm not a lawyer.
Well, I think it's going to be hard for the LPD to show what happened if, the witnesses aren't here, because the police don't know what happened. A police report's hearsay, correct?
This commission isn't bound by rules of evidence as a court would be.
I understand that, but this is hearsay, a police report, correct?
Correct, but
Okay, so
certainly
just-
affidavits could be obtained from the witnesses, which would not be hearsay.
All right, well, I would feel a little more comfortable if we could get the witnesses in here. Is the possibility the city could get that?
We can certainly look into it. I believe most of them are college students, so they may not be around, but that's certainly something that can be explored.
Well, why don't we put it on for the first meeting in August? In July, they can report to us as to whether we can get the witnesses here for the first meeting in August. It's only another 2 weeks, right? Because
I anticipate the next meeting after July 18th would be August 1st.
yeah, so if he's not going to be, but
Well, then,
I'd
the
rather
second,
have it can we do it the second week in August?
yeah, let me just get that date.
it would only be 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and we can, And if there's a hearing in August, then that would give us time to see what.
I think the city's conspiring against us.
August 22nd?
Ooh, that takes us down the road.
Could we do August 8th? Or is that, was there a reason why we didn't do August? I don't know.
Trying to think, I can't think off the top of my head, in lieu of having August 1st as a meeting?
Yeah, just have one August 8th. And that would be,
I don't see any, I don't think any other board would be scheduled to meet that Thursday, August 8th, so I guess, yeah, you could. In lieu of August 1, you,
because you're not gonna be here August 1.
Rather not.
Right, okay, so we'll make it August 8th
instead of August 1st.
instead of August 1st, and we'll mark, we'll have the hearing on, well, I'll make a motion, we have the hearing on August 8th.
Now, just so I understand, and based on what the solicitor has just said, the allegations, do you want to expand on the allegations, or do you, on the violation of regulation, or do you want to keep it as it's presently presented in the superintendent's
Well,
letter?
that's why I think since we're having the meeting July 18th, the city can report back to us as to what they want. You know, if there's any other allegations on the 18th, then we can mark it up for August 8th.
I think the violation of section 1.16 was intended to cover the alleged assault. So I mean, we can review it, but I don't think we need any other charges. I think that this complaint covers all the activity outlined in the report.
Okay. All right, well, I still think we should put it on for August 8th.
So moved.
And there'll be no meeting on August 1st, or
No
presumably.
meeting
there'll be
August 1st, right.
In lieu of the August 1st date.
Right.
Okay. Okay, before the commission,
We seem to have a question from the law office.
yeah, I was gonna just say, just for the record, when the License Commission met May 23rd, one of the number of letters of allegations of misconduct that the superintendent had filed with respect to licensees included a complaint regarding the Middle Street Village, the Village Smokehouse. And at that time, the nature of the complaint is, there are two aspects to it. One is to do with alleged sale to a minor, or a minor consuming alcohol on the premises. And the second had to do with, in the basement of the building, of the premises, which is not a public accessible place as far as the license is concerned, police recovered 3 plastic bags, sandwich-type bags, I believe, something of that nature. And Captain Webb at the time, on May 23rd, stated that there would be a state police crime lab would do, at their earliest convenience, do an examination of those bags to determine if any content or residue may have anything to do with controlled substance. The report has come back. Captain Webb made it available to the License Commission office yesterday, and apparently it confirms that there is several things involved in those bags, and for which the violation would be not only just a minor, but also for controlled substance on the premises that were not.
Well, we put it on for hearing next meeting?
July 18th?
Yes, July 18th.
So as I've been trying to learn about the open meeting law and everything, that didn't happen to make it on the agenda. Can we still discuss it
Well, that's
with
why I'm
regard to
asking,
the rules?
I'm generally with respect, with all due respect to the board, I'm not trying to control anything here. I'm just trying to point out that there was consideration at the time on May 23rd that the License Commission would hold back until a report had been made available. I'm just letting it be known to the board, even though it's not noted here on the agenda, because the agenda had to close for this meeting Tuesday afternoon of this week, June 18th. And so when the information that Captain Webb made available was not available till yesterday afternoon around noontime, thereabouts. And so
Well, I think that information, wasn't reasonably anticipated to come up, so.
Unless you want to just wait till.
I think we're in good stead and mark it up for the next meeting, correct? Because of the seriousness of violation?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's fine.
I want to move it as fast as I can. I just don't want Martha Coakley putting me in stocks in front of City Hall. I mean, it'd be embarrassing. Yes.
Okay, so I'll just, notify the licensee who has right to legal counsel of our hearing on the matter, which will include that there is evidence, and a copy of the State Police Crime Lab report will be included with the notice of hearing.
Great.
As well as the police report.
Does, okay, so the licensee gets counsel. What about Mr. Hayhurst? Does he get counsel as Mr. Hayhurst?
All our licensees are notified when they're sent hearing notices that they have right to legal counsel. At least I try to make it's almost like a matter of fact that's in there. And they have, obviously, the option is always there for them if they provide a timely request for continuance. If for circumstances like an attorney can't be available for a given date for a hearing that's been scheduled, they have the right to ask for a continuance.
All right, and who's going to be responsible for making sure Ms. Costa and Mr. Brezhnev are present? Is that you, or is that the law office?
I have no means to. I can send notice, but it's nothing compelling them to be here.
Does the law office have a way of compelling them?
Unless you want to get a subpoena from the court to.
I just want to interject. We're now back talking about the Finn's Pub matter, because we had moved on, I thought, to the Village Smokehouse, which is not Mr. Hayhurst.
Yeah, I understand. I conflated the two in my mind, I'm sorry. But that is my concern. Who's going to make sure these two witnesses are here?
Captain Webb has indicated to me that the Lowell Police Department will be in touch with the witnesses and will confirm in advance of the hearing their availability.
Great.
Okay.
Great.
So are we wrapped up?
With that, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
So moved.